Welcome to this class. Here are a few appetizers for us to solve using chain rule. So let's solve one by one. So A is y given by sine 2x. To solve this, you let u to be 2x, call it equation 1, which implies y will be sine of u, because we have already fixed this one to be u. Call this one equation 2. Now from equation 1, du dx is given by 2, and from 2, dy du is given by differentiating sine function, you get a cos function. Now, dy dx is dy du times du dx. And dy du is cosine of u. Du dx, we have gotten the answer to be 2. So, which is the same thing as writing 2 cos of u. Therefore, dy dx is 2 cosine of u is 2x. So that will be the solution. Part B is y is given by cos of x minus 1. Now you start by fixing this part. So let u to be x minus 1, call it equation 1, which means when you fix this one to be u, y will be cosine of u. Call this one equation 2. Now, from 1, du dx is 1, and from 2, dy du, derivative of a cos function is a negative sine function. So dy dx is dy du times du dx. So dy du, you put minus sine u, du dx, you put 1, because you get the same as negative sine of u. Ia dy dx will be negative sine of u is x minus 1. C is y equals to e raised power bx. That is what is given as C in this question. So we fix the power to be u. So let u to be 3x. Call this one equation 1. Then this will mean we'll have y equals to e raised power u. Call this one equation 2. So from 1 we get du dx, from 2 we get dy du. So from 1, du dx is 3, and from 2, dy du is e raised power u. So then dy dx is dy du times du dx, which is e raised power u times 3, which is 3 e raised power u. But you don't leave your answer in terms of u because u is our own creation. So therefore dy dx is 3 e raised power 3 x. And then d is y equals to cosine of 3x squared. So we start by fixing u to be 3x squared, call it 1. So this means we have y equals to cos of u. This equation 2. Now, from 1, du dx is 6x, and from 2, dy du is negative sine u. The derivative of a cos function is a negative sign. So dy dx is dy du times du dx, which is negative sine u times 6x. And this is the same thing as writing negative 6x sine of u. So this is dy dx. So therefore, dy dx is negative 6x sine of u is 3x squared. So this will be the solution. And then part E, cos y is cos of 3x and then square. Now what you do first is to know that y equals to cos 3x then square is the same thing as writing cosine of 3x squared is 9x squared. So we let u to be 9x squared, which means y will be cosine of u. Now from 1, du dx is 18x, and from 2, dy du, differentiate a cos function, you get negative sign function. Now you go back to definition. Dy dx is dy du times du dx. So which will give us negative sine u times 18x, and this will be negative 18x sine of u. So therefore, dy dx will be negative 18x sine of u in this question is 9x squared, or you can write it as 3x squared, of just negative 18x sine of 9x squared. So that's how we solve that. And lastly, f is y equals to cos squared x. Now you have to know that when we write y equals to cos squared x, is the same thing as writing cos x raised power 2. So let u to be cos x. And this means y will be u squared, because this cos x squared. For this one too. So du dx from 1 is given by differentiate cos function, you get negative sign, and from 2 dy du is 2u. So dy dx is dy du times du dx, and this will give us 2u into negative sin x. So this is dy dx. So this minus 2u sin x, but remember u is cos x, so therefore dy dx is minus 2 cosine of x sine of x. So this is what you get. And then g, assuming we had y equals to sine cubed of 4t. Now, to evaluate this, y equals to sine cubed of 4t, the same thing as writing sine of 4t raised power 3. So we let small u to be 4t and capital U to be sine of 4t. So the same thing as writing sine of small u, which implies that y will be capital U raised power 3, because I've fixed all this part to be capital U. Now you call this one question 1, call this one question 2, call this one question 3. From 1, du dt is 4. From 2, the capital U, the small u, the derivative of a sine function is a cos function, so cos u. And from 3, dy, the capital U is 3 capital U power 2. This is using power of. Now, dy dt, which is our interest, be given by dy, the capital U times the capital U, the small u, times the small u dt. So which will be 3 capital U power 3 power 2, this value here, times du is cos u, du dt is 4. So dy dt will be 3 times 4 is 12, cos of u, and then times capital U square. But capital U is the same as sine of 40. So dy dt will be 12 cos of 40 sine squared of 40. So this will be the final solution. Thank you.